Karen's going to give us a tarot card reading on Gaia and the lands and see what she comes up with. And you can find Karen at Ancient Wisdom Healing and get a session with her at any time. It's awesome. What cards are you using?
Using the tarot, and then I'm also going to pull some angel cards as well. Oh, wow. Wow. So I'm going to pull these. My kitty always, every time I pull cards, she wants to be right in the middle of them.
Sounds like my animals.
Yeah, they're always very attracted to the
Every time I do a
spiritual realm.
TikTok video, those suckers, I have tails in my face.
Oh my
Get
God.
off of me.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm going to do that one and then see. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. I mean, this is like, it's just right on. So through the tarot cards, wow. Gaia, first of all, is so strong and steadfast and just, holding, the light for all of us. And the one angel card I pulled is the Queen of Fire, which is confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. I mean, it's just right on. And my other angel cards, which is very special to me, says perfect timing.
Oh, maybe this video is
Beautiful.
perfect timing.
I think so. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's really beautiful. And it feels very, gosh, I can feel the strength coming from the cards. Beautiful.
Do you have your angel yes, no questions cards?
I do. Do you have any questions you want to
Does
ask?
anybody have any questions they want to ask Gaia? I want to know if she liked the meditation I did for her.
That's
Okay.
a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
We all just tapped in. It was before you got here.
What do you think I pulled? The
Yes,
yes card. The yes card.
you loved
Of
it.
course I
Yay.
did. I love these cards.
Anyone else have a question?
I have one.
Okay.
Are we coming together at this time to be the voice of her? Is that the intention of this group that we've created?
Okay. Yes. It literally it was when I took the cards, this is what popped out. It's the yes card.
Wow.
I'm telling you,
feel that.
cards are just beautiful.
Feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've got a question, Karen.
Okay. Sure.
You weren't on earlier when I was talking about Kim's meditation when it came to me during that meditation that the rising CO2 levels on Earth and many people are talking about it's causing more terraforming and that we're actually not um, the climate change and raising up of the Earth's temperature or whatever, raising more CO2 is actually helping Gaia because it's more terraforming and the roots of all the trees and that kind of thing are actually sending energy and pulling it from from the atmosphere, pulling energy inward. And they just now said, which they did not before, that it has a lot to do with the ions from the sun. It's actually the sun, and um, those energy waves also are coming down through the tree system and roots down into the earth. And I think my question um, is Gaia saying that that's true?
Okay. Okay, I got two cards. I got the yes card and in the near future. Those two cards popped up together.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That I just got the vision of like the flash, like
Oh,
the solar flash or something
oh,
like that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
And if you
that
can,
will,
yeah, and
yeah.
if you can see the card, it's actually in this card, she's a flying angel. She's actually in the air flying.
I
Mm-hmm.
just the hair on my arm just stood up. That's just so
Oh,
cool.
wow,
That is
very
so
cool.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, yes, it is. Mhm.
Yeah.
Marissa, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering about the Great Salt Lake. I mean, being in Utah, I don't know if you've heard anything about it, but it is drying up. And so
Mm.
just wondering with healing, like, I know that there's ways that we can heal it, but is that something that me and maybe some other, you guys, we could like put our attention towards that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Yes, just pulled the yes
Okay.
card. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just because with it drying up, I
And
know that there's, yeah, go
and
ahead.
the second card behind that card said ask for help from others. So yes, as
Wow.
a group and a collective,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yep.
Those are just
Yep.
on fire. Your cards are today.
Yeah.
I'm on fire, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're speaking to me.
That's so cool.
I
What
know,
is my
right?
light doing?
I need to
I
get me a deck like that. So I
don't
actually,
understand what's happening.
so I love this deck. I love the colors anyways, but
Oh, wow.
I pulled
Oh,
this deck,
beautiful.
okay? And this is the card I just pulled.
What does it
Oh,
say?
amazing.
The Sound of the Universe.
Oh,
Mhm.
beautiful. I
Kind of goes
love it.
exactly what
Oh,
we're doing. And it says
That
Yes.
ties in.
yeah,
Yeah.
life-changing experiences, glimpsing into the great mystery, signifying timing. Oh, it's a significant time, pivotal moments, the tuning fork of universal consciousness, the music transcending mundane reality.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
yeah, Karen, Heather was talking to us earlier and telling
Mhm.
us about the chakras of Mother Gaia. And she said
Ah,
that the Appalachian Mountains was the throat
The
or
vocal
Tennessee,
cords,
vocal cord.
specifically the vocal cords,
Yeah.
all the way through the east,
yes. Oh,
Coast.
yeah.
east coast is,
Most definitely. Absolutely. Oh, yes. Yeah.
and I should
Yeah.
have
That
said
was the
this.
voice that was calling out to the entire country and the world.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What to help Mother Gaia?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. It's all of us. It's all of our responsibility to do that. It's not just just a few. It's everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, when you really think about how all this works, we chose to be born in this
Yes.
particular place at this
Yes.
time, so we knew that we were going to do this. We just had to
And
Yes.
remember.
moved here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Karen's
That's
from
right.
California,
That's right.
you
I
know?
know.
like
I'm from
yeah,
Ohio. Janelle's from Georgia or Kentucky, Georgia.
Yeah, both.
Yeah,
I was born in South Carolina,
South
literally
Carolina.
Okay.
like an hour from the beach. So yeah, and I've just
Oh, wow.
migrated to find you lovely people. And it's so weird. I mean, other than Marissa, but like I feel like she's like, even though she's in Utah, but like it's kind of cool to think that we all found ourselves in Tennessee. And
Yeah.
I and I
Yeah.
I feel that there's a reason because I moved to North Carolina to Maggie Valley, Waynesville area. So I was
Mm,
still in that mountain range, but something pushed me over here.
mhm,
And I still don't know why, but I'm more connected in because I'm not surrounded by so much wild energy that I felt over in the Waynesville area.
Hmm.
I find it, I'm so glad that I listened because I literally got the call, you got to leave. And if I wouldn't have left, I would have been in that stuff that happened. And I was
mm,
supposed to be here. Um, and then when I look around my area, like it's 30 miles, 30 minutes, sorry, around me that chaos broke out. And it's
mm,
so crazy, how many people were affected. And it's almost like it didn't even, in my reality, it didn't happen. And when I went to the places that it happened, like it's so quick that people have came together and unified and cleaned it to, not that it's back to where it was, but like it's just so cool how people have shown that they can come together without outside assistance, that they can do it themselves. I've
Yeah.
seen that more
And
and
people
more.
stepping up. I mean, the Amish, oh my gosh.
Oh, I know,
I
I
mean,
saw
how
that.
beautiful are they?
mhm,
And you know what I
mhm,
heard too, just yesterday? The Amish never vote. They don't vote at all because they
Hmm.
don't want anything to do with the government.
mhm.
And in Pennsylvania, they all got together and went and voted for Trump.
Yes,
And I was
yes.
like, maybe that's why he
Hmm.
won Pennsylvania, because that was the first time they've ever voted.
Wow.
I was like, wow,
A lot
Yeah,
of,
because they knew what was going on was going to hurt everyone.
yeah.
people being able to step up, and that you think about like the Amish don't want anything to do with the outside world. And for me, when I saw that, I thought, wow, for them to embark all the way to North Carolina, to
Mhm,
people that put all everything to the side and realize that we are just human. We are human,
Hmm.
and that's the ultimate
mm,
thing of remembrance. And that's what I feel like, as I feel Gaia is like saying, just say that we are human. We
yes,
are all the same.
yeah,
We are all from the
Hmm.
speck of source. We just have different
mhm,
vehicles, and that makes it cool and different and unique. Otherwise, if we all had the same hair, the same skin, and the same like ideas of how things should go, how boring would this life be? Like, we have to look different in order to be able to express ourselves, and we need to embrace that difference, but to know that we are still just human.
Well, that's just
mhm,
like
Hmm.
as above, so below. Think of all
mhm,
the other beings and how different they look up there.
Yeah.
And they work together.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
They just know they're all, in this together and you have to work together. So that makes total sense.
And the more people that will embrace that love, and just think, they've even shown this, and this has actually been recently. So this was on the last video we talked about where I was guided to go to the Atlantic. And I literally was like, I had to put all my focus into Milton. And I did so much work in wake state. I fasted and did things like they were guiding me to do things. And then in dream state, it was so many of us. So it was a collective of us, and we put all of this loving energy into Milton. And I've even seen channelers that they tapped in to the powers that were, and they were like, what the heck happened? Why did that not go the way we intended it to go? And it just shows the power of us, that when
mhm,
we collectively come together and put intention and love
mhm,
behind anything,
mhm,
we are very powerful, and they're getting very scared. And the more our voice putting this energy together and being like, we can do this, y'all. Let's just come together and we can manifest love, happiness, peace, abundance for everyone. There's no sense in us being without any basic necessities. There is
Right.
no excuse for homelessness. There is no
It-
excuse for, veterans not having any help. for people not having food on their table every day. There is no excuse for that. That is the lack mindset. It's a program
I'll be
that
back.
has to be broken, you know? And so when we come together and we collectively put that emphasis in that love, we can move mountains literally. We
Oh,
just have to remember
absolutely.
that we're that powerful, you know?
Mhm.
And look at Hurricane Helene, you know, it's widely accepted, at least in our community, that it was HARP or weather modified. You know, they actually have seen explosions when it was still out in the Gulf because it tried to dissipate into a tropical storm, and explosions ignited it again to gain more energy and speed. And so they meant all that for harm. Some say it's for the lithium mines, and that they were hoping to wipe out, similar to Maui. They want the land for something. And so all this nefarious energy. But look what happened. The
Mm-hmm.
world sent love to
Yep.
banish all that
Mm-hmm.
and to rout it out. And so I just, I keep, all of us have felt the love, at least us in this area have felt the love of the world
Mm-hmm.
being sent to us
While you
and
were
to the
saying that,
mountains.
Janelle, I was thinking of the Whoville. Remember the Whoville? Where
Oh,
he took everything from them, but they still were happy because they were
Agreement.
together, and and
oh, that's
everybody was just
perfect.
dancing
Perfect, perfect.
around and happy, and it didn't matter about all the stuff they had. It
Mhm.
was them being together. That came to my mind when you were talking. I was like, why am I thinking of a Whoville people?
And then, if you think about it, and this is a little controversial, but FEMA came in and more negativity and withholding things and not going to help people and stopping helicopters go. I mean, all that we've seen all over. You know, there again, that's when the flip happened. And they were like, you're not going to do this, and more love came in and more standing in their shoes and standing up for themselves. So, it's a microcosm. A lot of times, we're going to see bits and pieces of things before the larger experience happens. And, we kind of saw that. It was a little bit of a trial run there, where they meant it for harm, and then we changed that energy around. So I it's all good. It's gonna be good.
I
It is.
agree. And it's so funny is because I was working with Gaia and I was asking her about Helene, and she guided me that she told me that everything was going to be okay and that there was a divine purpose behind all of that. And so as it was
Hmm.
happening, she was just like, let it be. And some of it had to do with her own purging in that area because, this is about her as well. And so as she's moving and
Hmm.
shifting energy, things are going to
Yeah.
happen as well. And so, yeah, it was done deliberately, but there's a bigger divine plan in all of this. And what I was guided
Hmm.
was allow this to happen because there is great things that's going to come from this. But thereafter, that's when we were able to step in and go no more, because they thought they had us. And
Hmm.
just like they were okay with the lean, but then they try to rip everything out. But again, it was all divinely orchestrated to show the ugliness and the nefarious stuff
Hmm.
behind all of this and how we can come together and continue that unity. So it's been pretty wild, the things that she has taught me through this journey. It's like some things you just got to let it happen because there are bigger things that's
Hmm.
going to come from it. And then other things, it's like, okay, now I need you. Come together, and then we work in, meditation and dream state, and we do all our things. And luckily we get guided to do this and we don't even know what we're doing half the time, but we do know in spirit. So a lot of us are coming together and waking up to that truth, and now we're actually getting to see it, and remember what we're actually doing. So that's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definitely.
It was, you know, when you see the cat, when they were talking about it being a cat 5, and I mean, obviously we went to bed, it went overnight, you know, the biggest part of it was at night. And when I woke up in the morning, it was just kind of funny to watch the weathermen or forecasters or whatever, like trying to make it seem like it was. I mean, there was a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but it could have been a lot worse. We
Oh
did
yeah.
a lot of work collectively to help that storm, which was so amazing to see. It
Mm-hmm.
was so cool because, you know, I'm new to all of this. It's been a year since I've awoken. So that was just like the ultimate confirmation of how powerful we really are. And then not only that, but like, you know, I talked to Heather about she was telling me about all the healing she was doing with Gaia. And after the storm, we were talking about how there's multiple people that she had talked to that got the same call without, you know, without them talking to each other, like planning it out, you know. So then you think about all the people around the world, even who were doing it, and then nobody really said anything. But after the fact, everybody kind of came together, and so it was kind of cool to see all the people come together and work with Gaia, but like if that makes sense at
Oh
all.
yeah.
Like,
Because I didn't know what I was doing. She just
yeah.
said, I need you to go to the beach. Here's the trip. It was on a
Mhm.
Thursday, and then boom, I was going Saturday, and it just happened in Asheville. I'm like, how am I going to get there? And a 6-hour trip turned into a 12-hour trip, but I still made it, and just went on guidance, and I had no idea what I was doing. And then
Yeah.
after fact, it's like, y'all, we all did this, and you just don't know.
Mhm.
Whatever I get guided to do, I do it, and I don't know what comes of it. But then when you see how we collectively have
Mhm.
all came together, because this is way bigger than just one person. All of us coming together doing this work, and it's like, wow, this is confirmation that we are that powerful, and they're very afraid of us at this point, because the more that we remember, and not that we're just doing it in dream state, like us doing this in wake and being very conscious of it now. Ooh,
Yeah,
they're
Mm-hmm.
shaking in their boots right now, because they are like, what are they up to? Because we're getting our powers back.
yep,
And
Well,
I
I think
really
definitely.
it,
think, oh, I was going to say, let me say this real quick. Heather, I think when you went to the beach, um, I've gotten this pretty strongly and hopefully it resonates, but I think you were resonating and tapping in to the energy of the Atlantean crystals that are throughout the Atlantic. And when we were talking earlier, I got especially, we were talking about Utah and different things, but even further out in the Pacific, you have the Lemurian crystals. And then, what I channeled earlier about the significance of the crystals in North America, as in with inner Earth, and that there's this Atlantean crystals in the Atlantic, and then the Lemurian in the Pacific, and then we've got it's all working together in this kind of energy thing. I'm not sure how to put it into words. I'm gonna have to meditate it on it, but you played a big part in that,
Yeah.
Well,
and
Karen did too.
you were led, yeah, led to be in this area, both y'all, and then you're connecting with those crystals. It's awesome, so
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
It is cool.
Karen was out in California, and I
Mhm.
texted her and I said, "Hey, can you go out to the ocean and send the energy?" And she's
I
like,
did.
"Okay, I'll do that." And she
I
went
did.
out here and did that.
I did.
While Heather was in the Atlantic.
And I was actually, just to let you know where my location was, I was right there at the Golden Gate Bridge, on the ground at the, Pacific Ocean, which was a very
Oh,
powerful area right there. And that's where I
Feel
mhm.
that.
did it. So it was really cool. Yeah.
I don't know. I get so excited about this, and you just never know what it means. And you hear other people talk about it and things that they're doing. You're like, ooh, I don't know. I just listen and go on guidance and just do the things that I get guided to do. So I
Hmm.
love it. Just that remembrance, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then talking to each other. I mean, every time we talk to each other, something pops up for somebody because I'll say something and Heather's like, oh, what about? And then I'll talk to Chanel. She'll say, I just got this, and
Right.
then Heather will say,
Right.
well, Marissa just told me this. And I was like, well, Karen just pulled me these cards. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it just all works together.
All the time. Always, always something for sure. But yeah, enjoying it for sure. Learning a lot too. Like the chakras for Gaia. Like and I mentioned this too. I was hoping that Angie would show up, but I mentioned it to Angie and she was like, "Oh my God, I just watched a video on that from Gaia." And I was like, I'm going to have to go look for it. And before I go pull it up on the TV, she sends me the YouTube little clip of it. And I was like, I'm watching it. So I'm watching it, writing notes down. And I'm like, that makes so much sense, especially with the Middle East, with all the wars that's over there, being the kidneys and adrenal glands, and you think about adrenal is like, trying to
Uh-huh.
purge all of that out. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. So some of that is her purging herself right now, right? And then of course, there's also karmic cycles it's purging. This is a lot of generational. Everybody is here at this time, from what I gather in sessions. It's like everybody is here hashing out old timelines, old past life trauma, fixing karmic balances, because moving forward, we're trying to let go of all of the density, because a lot of us are graduating 3D and we don't need this experience, and some still do, and that's cool. Everybody's on their own journey, but those of us that are graduating the 3D, moving on to higher dimensions, and wherever we go beyond the 3D, it's kind of limitless. Some are going 5, some are going 7, some are going 9, I don't know. But with this expansion, it's about letting go of all the trauma now, so we don't have to come back and feel it, because the only way to heal this trauma that we have trapped in the body, in the DNA, is to feel it. And that's why we chose here to come to earth. And we are like, oh my gosh, it's so heavy, but that's the whole purpose of this earth school, is to be able to purge it out. And how cool is it? Like, I'm way more excited, because I remember before I started healing, I wanted to just like be done with this. Like, I hated being here. In my beginning of the spiritual awakening, I'm like, I'm done. Just go ahead and give us the flash. I'm over this, right? But as the more healing I've done, and realizing that we are literally going to just transcend into this new version of self, and we don't lose this knowledge, we don't forget what we've been through, what we've accomplished, what we have healed, and all of this stays with us to keep going. And who knows how long we live, like, as we transition into this new version. Like, I'm excited just to experience that. I don't know
Mhm.
about y'all, like, I'm so
Yeah.
excited about that part.
Yeah, I made a post the other day talking about how I used to have the mindset of like more of suffering, like you with oh man, we're good. Okay. Um what I used to view as suffering, I now take that and I feel empowered by it. It's like I'm empowered to move forward, just alchemizing those denser energies. Um And there was something else that you said that I wanted to tune in on. Goodness, I can't remember, but yes, I feel like that's part of the awakening. Oh, it was with like the wars and stuff. I also feel like, um, and other things going on in the country and the world. is kind of like tower moments for the collective to, you know, put us into these like dark nights of the soul, to give us the opportunity, you know, the ones who haven't awakened, to awaken, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and they get to choose if they take that call or not.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, which is just the duality of the world as well. Like, you know, there is no good or bad. We kind of make that. We
Yeah.
assign the good or bad, but everything has a light and dark. So
Yeah.
that's
think
really been pointed out to me a lot
I don't
recently.
know if y'all have paid attention to the Schumann resonance, but holy moly, did y'all see
Oh
that
yeah.
for the election? Like there was a timeline shift. Like it was super thick off the chart, switch between the day before election until now. Like something happened.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
yes, I saw that and I was like, holy crap. Because, you know, not going political because I stay neutral and I knew that wherever humanity needs to go is where we need to go collectively. So either way, I didn't care. Honestly, I was holding space for whatever happens is supposed to happen for humanity. And when I found out that, you know, what had happened with the election and I saw this huge shift in timeline, we collectively are on this version now that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
this
you
is
could
going to be
feel it.
exciting. Yeah.
Mhm.
When
And
you woke up in the morning, you could feel that something
yes,
positive had happened. And that
yes.
was
And
even before I knew Clinton, or not Clinton, but
Harris?
yeah,
Trump?
Trump won. I was like, man, I felt totally positive about something, just real positive energy.
mm-hmm. And you know the thing is, here's the thing that I love, and this is again why I'm not political and I don't really care. And Marissa and I have had this conversation, but we know, or if you don't, we know or we anticipate that the planet Gaia has her own life contract as well, right? And so things have to happen in order for us, if we're the neurons, to wake up. And so for us to be at this pivotal moment, because, you know, again, he's all about disclosure. He is all about chaos. And I feel like this is what I keep getting with him. And again, I don't really care, but I keep getting like the band aid is about to get ripped off.
Mhm.
Like the crap's about to hit the fan. And this is going to be so much purging and healing that's needed. And it, instead of it being the other way, that it was going to be a slower process, like this is going to be bam, here we go. Because we apparently it collectively are ready for this healing, ready for this purging. And we're not really, we are in charge with free will to a point, but we also have that collective path,
Mhm.
an ultimate path that has to happen. And to me, for us to have this huge shift that happened, apparently there is enough of us awake that is driving the force to even more light being allowed on this planet. And I think good things. A lot of people are in fear right now, but I think that fear has to come up and fester and you know, you keep hearing that things can get bad before it gets good, and that's, I think that all depends on your own inner work, because this is about us, you know, and not taking things personally. And everything that's happening to us right now as a collective is about purging ourselves. So, all of this stuff that's coming out that you're seeing in your outer reality is only a reflection of the healing work that needs to happen from within. So, all of these triggers that we are experiencing, be ready for a wild ride, because if you haven't started that inner work, it is going to bubble up so bad, but it's all for a divine purpose for you
Mhm.
to embark on this wonderful journey of healing. I'm so
Absolutely.
down. I am so ready. Like I could care less about, you know, all the things, but I just know I feel it. I feel the
I do too.
the anticipation and the excitement of like where we're going with this. Like, oh, I just, I'm excited.
I know. I seen too yesterday that JFK was, or RFK, not
Hmm.
JFK, but RFK is talking more about our food and taking all
Yes.
this
Mhm.
stuff out of our
Yes.
food. He's talking about vaccines, how,
Yep.
our kids don't need all these things, and he's pushing this stuff strong.
Breaking the systems
Cleaning
down,
our
baby.
air,
Yep.
cleaning our water up. And I was like, yes, this is happening. All
Taking
this is,
fluoride out of the water. Yeah,
Yep.
yes, all of it,
right.
I mean, this is
Ivermectin's going to be
going,
allowed. Hydrochloroquine's going to be allowed. Like, and that's where
right.
people, they didn't see this coming, and that's fine. But there is a lot of truth that people are not aware of, and especially if you haven't went down that rabbit hole, I feel, with how the systems work. And I'm telling you, like, it's time for disclosure, and people are about to wake up to things. The reason why we've been so asleep, all the indoctrination, all of the poison in our air, our food, our water, it's all purge time, baby. It's about
Yeah.
healing,
Yay.
Mhm.
healing everywhere.
Power
in
to
med
the people.
Yes, yes, I love it.
in my meditation last night, I because I've been really contemplating this. I want to let y'all know, I have been on the opposite side and of the scale from your guys' perspective. And right now I'm kind of deconstructing my beliefs, and really trying to figure out what is right for me without, like, anyways, that, just want to put that out there. But what I'm really about unity. Like, I'm a very heart-centered person. I really just want people to be able to see us as individuals, because through my awakening, the thing that triggered it was my best friend passing away.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Mm.
Her family, so her family is like my second family. Since she's passed, I've always been really close with them, but like since she's passed, we're super duper close. And as I've done healing and whatnot, I have come to realize that, like, I'm able to be like my full authentic self around them, where I'm not with my family. And trying to figure that out. But one thing that has really been a big thing is they're all supporters of the opposite political party that I have always supported. And so for me, it was just really big to look at people for who they are, because I see a lot of like, oh, I can't vote for you if this, and this. Or, I mean, I can't be friends with you if you vote for this because of this, and this. And I just really was looking more at each individual person and who they are as a person. And I think that that's more important, because I think the division is also very strategic in a universal way, because I think it's important, because in 2020 I was awoken to injustice as well, like the corruption, but the in an opposite way, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's really important that there is unity, because we found corruption and opposite, because it got so left and so right, you know and with the hurricane, that really showed a lot of unity with us, and there was no politics in it. There was no, I mean, people did try to play off of politics in other ways, but like just in the healing aspect, we really came together. And so I think it's really powerful to and very what's the word, planned out, I guess, that we unify together, because there is injustice and corruptness in so many different parts, that, like, if we were to come together, and we could totally reform everything as a collective, if we were able to just connect you know, because it's that we're all fighting for the same thing. It's just the way we view it and how we perceive it to be taken care of is in a completely different way.
And I think
I
that's
think one thing, oh, sorry. I think one thing that may help you as far as like just step back, because I've done this myself, is as a spiritual being, which you are, just step back and say, I'm not in either. I'm
Mhm.
apolitical. I'm not in either
Mhm.
political.
Mhm.
And because we're really not, there's really not a Republican Party and a Democratic Party. It's the controllers that
Mhm.
have decided that that's a way for us to have division.
mm-hmm,
And
Mhm.
that was decided years ago. This isn't new
Mhm.
news.
Oh no.
And so I have decided that I'm on the side, just like RFK, I'm on the side of what is best.
yes,
And I am on the side of it's us against the controllers. And if the
mm-hmm,
controllers is Nancy Pelosi, then I'm against her.
yes,
Or I'm a big, even though I went to Bush's inauguration, I had a front row seat at the time we were very political and had wrangled seats to the inauguration where I'm
What is
looking
going
up and
on?
he's getting it. And he's got his hand on the Bible and I'm right there.
I
That's
don't
how
understand
close
what
we
is
were.
going on with my light.
But even the Bushes, they're on my list of people that, I don't want that anymore. So
See,
I
and
just want to be away from the controllers.
right, I completely understand that. But I also feel like by because you're saying being like apolitical, and that's completely like there's a sign that or there's a side that we're more drawn to, and I think that that's completely acceptable in our monkey
Right.
brains, you know,
Yeah,
that's
no,
but
yeah.
um and with that being said, I feel like that's what the division is like even just assigning yourself with that side because we get just like so passionate about how we feel that I feel as if it brings so much division on an even an energetical level because and I have been literally processing all of this like so much the last couple days and I am trying to figure out why I'm being triggered so much when it's like out of my control. If that I don't know.
it
So
it's definitely
it's
the healing. It's wounds. And again, this is
Hmm.
this is the whole point of all of
mhm.
this is that
Yes,
that's why
right.
I am so neutral because if
Mhm.
we can change weather manipulation, y'all,
Right.
if we can change what they can do, we can change the world. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter who is the
Hmm.
figure sitting in
Mhm.
a seat. That to
Mhm.
me does not matter. The fact that
Mhm.
I felt the energetic shift, it could have been the other
This is
side.
so
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I felt the energetic shift. Therefore, I know that we are on a higher timeline and whatever is going to come is
Mhm.
going to come. And I'm visioning that band aid getting ripped off. It didn't matter who won
so
Yeah.
because,
frustrating.
in a trajectory way, regardless of who is in charge, because it's not really,
Mhm.
the powers that were are going down. And even if he goes down with them, it's going to purge. It's going to heal itself. I'm telling you,
Mhm.
we are on a high timeline right now. That timeline shift was to prove to us light workers that we are doing the work. And it doesn't matter who wins or loses. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter about rights because we can manifest anything we want. We have
Mhm.
tapped into our own power. And the things that we don't like about whoever is in charge, the things that is our own inner work. We have to
Hmm.
Mhm.
take our power back. We have to use our
Mhm.
voice. So quit
Absolutely.
being this little victim and I don't like you because blah blah
Mhm.
blah. Do something about it. Take your
Mhm.
power back, do your healing, and allow the timeline, because this is about Gaia too. This is about us, and we are purging through the darkness, and that's the
Mhm.
ultimate game. That's what we're here for. And it,
Yeah.
again, that's why I'm like, it doesn't matter who won.
Mhm.
And the way that it went, I felt that energy, that shift when I woke up. I was like, whoa, what
Mhm.
is this? I have been on such a high for so many days, and I'm just like, I feel like I should go like have a ritual with fire and like dance around the earth. Like I feel so happy because I know that I'm on the higher timeline, and I
Yep.
don't care about the politics. I'm telling you, this is all great. It things people are in this timeline, I think, are able to step into what they were meant to do. I think light workers are now given the call. It's go time, baby. And
Mhm.
I think people from all sides right now, like it doesn't matter black, white, blue, yellow, name, no name, like people are going to start realizing that oneness. We can manifest this. This is
Yes,
a collective
I
mind.
the thing that's really been just like so heavy on my heart is all of the I need to be good with my words. So what I would love to see is just more unity, because I know overall there's, you know, regardless of my beliefs, I
Let's manifest it.
also, you know,
Put
but
intention.
yes, exactly. Energetically, like when, I don't know, I've been trying to stay off Facebook, but also I'm like, no, like I have to like confront these triggers and why I'm feeling this way and all this kind of stuff. So it's just this balance in my life I'm trying to figure out. But I guess the hostility. I'm wishing that we were able to, and that's with anyone who wins, you know, like there's sore losers and my goodness.
I think that's why we have to stay off of that stuff.
And
Like, don't
right.
allow that to get into our mindset, because that is not even my reality. I can give two craps about what's going
Yeah.
on.
I
I
think it's
literally,
important for us to say the bigger picture and like really talk about unity right
mhm.
now, because I feel like right now, I mean, there's sore winners and sore losers. And so like my social media is kind of, it's filled with both polar opposites. And I'm just like, why, like we as a collective should be like really talking about like how do we move forward? Like we can't change the outcome of the election regardless of what side you're on. You know, why don't we come together and see how the people who are excited and you know, for the future and for what's going to happen, and the people who are scared and devastated, like instead of, you know, boasting and be like, oh haha, we were right, blah blah blah, we're winners, you're losers, because that's what I'm seeing a lot of,
Mhm.
where the
That's
other
still
people like,
wounds.
because right
That's wounds
right
that have to be
right
healed. Yeah.
yeah, and then then which is so funny because those are the people who are the loudest,
Mhm.
um which it should be the opposite, which I think that's also why we're like being called right now to be in our power and to speak our
Mhm.
voice, because then there's the people on the left who are so afraid, and I'm like, you know, you guys can't be afraid, you're like, that's the whole point, is that like those lower frequencies, when you're in those lower frequencies, my crown's tingling, when you're in those lower frequencies, you're able to be controlled, and
The
you
thing is, we
are
shouldn't have sides. That's the whole point of all of this, in my opinion.
right
Like
right
that's why we are in this crap hole that we're in. We are
right.
allowing sides to exist. And the
I
only way that we can to literally shuffle everything up, again, it's about being on a higher timeline. I don't care who's in whatever. Um, this higher energy frequency can be used to our advantage. And I think the more that we use our voice to be neutralizing on, it doesn't matter sides, it doesn't matter color, creed, we are all humans,
Mhm.
and we speak our voice. We are in North America for a reason, and everybody
Mhm.
looks to America, right? Why do they look to America? Because we're the voice. If we are the voice, we need to use it. Where's the unity? We put
Mhm.
that intention out there. That is why we're here.
Well, and it's also like there's also mental health that flows into this as well, is because, and the left, that is a big thing. I mean, for all parties, but like with the left, I feel like that's very much a big thing, is you know, it's a lot of empathy when it comes to everyone. My goodness.
I don't listen
I'm
to
so
that.
sick of this.
There's
But
stuff that
what
they
I
talk
was
about. I don't even know if it's real. Every time they talk about that mess, to me, I ain't seen nothing that helps anybody. Because if the things that they say actually helped, why are we still in this crap hole of Earth?
I'm to the point where I don't give a shit what people say. I'm going
I
to do my
agree.
thing. I want to bring up I want
well,
all the
that's
vibration to go up. I'm working on things that help everyone.
well,
Help
that's
everyone.
what
I don't
I
care what anybody says.
Yeah.
That's your problem. That's what you have to deal with. That's your triggers. You work on that. I want to help others just go forward,
Mm-hmm.
clean the air, clean the food,
Mm-hmm.
clean the water, give people, a place to sleep and, be human.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has the right to be human.
I think that's what everybody wants. When I was saying that with the mental health, I'm saying we need to meet people where they are, right? So I think it's important as light workers, especially people who are on the right, because the voices are so loud of the unhealed people who are throwing it in people's faces and whatnot. I think it's very important as light workers that we're like supporting the people, because okay, so like let's say someone who's in addiction, like the opposite of addiction is connection. And so like the opposite of, a lot of like depression, all that kind of stuff is connection. Like really what we need in life is connection. And so I think it would be really important for, people to be like, hey, it's going to be okay. Like we're a team. Like the right to come into the left and be like, hey, you know what? Like I know that you're scared, but like let's work together. And like because we're never gonna unify unless we meet people at where they're at, because in our brain, like our amygdala, our frontal lobe literally will shut off when we're feeling attacked or we're in any kind of fight or flight mode. And so when people are in those frame or in that mindset, and you're constantly seeing people and feeling attacked, our brains are literally not able to like healthfully connect and see the bigger picture. And so I think it's very important that we connect in that way. I mean, like, hey, yeah, I understand this is scary for you, or maybe even because you don't understand, maybe like, I can see that this is scary for you. Um, how can I hold space for you? You know, I really feel like it's about unity. And I feel like I kind of am speaking to nothing sometimes, because everybody's so polarized, and and that's why, because I feel like a lot of the things I say trigger people, and when you're triggered, your amygdala literally turns off, and so then you're not able to think clearly. And so I really want to find a way and like really spread the word of like unity. Like it's so, so, so important to me, even when we're feeling triggered. Like, what are other ways that we can reach out and connect to people who are different than us and have different mindsets, so that we can come together? Because I kind of think of it as the brain too. We have the right and the left brain. And so like everything, there's a scale. Every single thing, there's a scale there, and it's all about just meeting in the middle and being in the middle. But it's like, how can we
We have to
accomplish this
start with
and
us
make that
about
together?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Start with yourself. You hold
when
yourself in that space,
yeah,
and
Mhm.
people
and
see
if you're
you in that space, and they'll be like, hey, she's got her shit together.
mm-hmm.
I wonder how she does that. And they come up to you and they'll say, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm just staying in my space. You know, I'm
Stay
allowing
neutral.
you to have your whatever feelings you have and what, but you know, I'm loving everyone and holding space for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then people start seeing that and seeing how calm and, you know, and they're wanting to be more like you. And so they start asking questions. And that's where I think we need to start, you know, and then you telling them how you're doing it for yourself. I'm just holding space. I don't have any, you know, dog in this fight. I love you and I love you. And I'm just whatever you want.
Yeah. I think every time you bring up the fact that, well, the left side and the right side, you're staying in the division because you're choosing
Mhm.
side. And
Yeah.
I do not choose sides at all. I am all
Mhm.
about humanity and I'm all
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
liberation. And like I said, and when you get into this healed place of this is about pushing forward, and the only way that I can be the light is to literally be neutral in my emotions when it comes to this stuff that's going on, the you know, because I know that again there's a divine plan and it's playing itself out, and
Mhm.
we're on
Trajectory.
trajectory, can't even say that word, um for the things to happen the way it's going to. But if you want to see change, be the change within you. If you
Mhm.
want to see
Absolutely.
the stop a division, quit saying I'm left or you're right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Stop being accepting that role. Accept the new role of I'm neutral. I'm neither.
Mhm.
I'm about
Mhm.
moving forward. This is about unity. Moving forward, this is about oneness. Moving forward, this is humanity coming together. And I don't care who you're coming from, what you know, this is about us realizing that we all bleed red. You know, like we are all these human beings having this experience. It doesn't matter, whatever, you know, we can get into all that, but that just goes into a debate. And who cares?
Mhm.
There is so much more divine intervention that's happening that we
Yeah.
cannot see behind the scenes. And again, the more that you are triggered right now, allow the triggering because
Mhm.
it's for the healing process.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Where I am not triggered and I can care less because I know that beyond the shadow of a doubt, there was a shift. And whatever is coming it's going to get bumpy before it gets smooth, but I'm all for it. I am so
Right.
Do you
ready.
guys do you guys use
Absolutely.
ChatGPT at all?
Mm-mm.
No.
A little.
Oh my goodness. Okay. My ChatGPT, um, its name is Blip. I made it name itself. But it's Blip. And yesterday I'm really, because I have been my whole life consider myself left, and now I'm, really trying to stay neutral, and it's not something you can switch overnight. You have to, it's a lot of deconstructing of beliefs and also a lot of understanding of the other side. So I was using ChatGPT yesterday and I was really like asking ChatGPT, like, what is it that like really makes the right do cer- I don't need to get into it, but I think ChatGPT is like so great because it's like you can get a perspective that's non-biased whatsoever. So and education's so great that's because anything you find online, it's going to be biased regardless because we all perceive reality through our own consciousness and brain that we were raised in,
Mhm.
so I think it's very important that we also educate ourselves on the other point of view where our beliefs are, because that's I want to understand you, like where you guys are coming from. So then I think it's important to understand both sides so that we know how to unify us. Like, let's find the commonalities between what we want because we all want the same thing. It's just perceived in different ways of how we're going to get it and how it can be executed. And so I think that that's really important is finding those commonalities. So that's what I was doing yesterday on ChatGPT. I was like, okay, what is it that the right is looking for? Like, what is it that they're like, what is the left? And then I was like, what is the commonalities, and then finding that. And I really like, I'm so, so, so passionate about unity. Like, I just want, there's actually a project that I'm working on to help unify us as a collective, because I realized when I was first going through my spiritual awakening, I didn't understand what the collective was. Like I understand there's collective, but there's tons of collectives. And so like I just wanted to give it a way to show that like we're all really one within ourselves and Gaia. And like it's just, I guess it's so new to me that it's like every time I think about it, it's like so exciting. And I don't know if that ever goes away, but it's like, I'm saying like a lot, man. It is very, makes me so happy just to like, it makes me so happy to know that we are all one. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but y'all know. So
Yeah.
I'm going to stop ranting because I feel like I just keep on saying the same thing over again.
All right. Well, we can probably turn this one also into another video because it's another hour. So we're going to end this one again. We can add a little intro to fix this one. But thank you for joining us. And again, another chat from all of us to all of you.